welcome to this week's video. If you're new here, welcome in. If you're not, welcome back. This week we are going to be doing roll for reads for my July TBR. Sorry also if you hear thunder, it's kind of storming out-ish, so don't mind that. But we're picking my TBR. I successfully read 6 out of the 8 books I picked. I had Bag of Holding, which I picked Tempest of Tea, and I read that. I had Shattered Realm, which I picked Paladin's Faith, and I read that. I had Soulwell, which I picked The Shadow of What Was Lost, and I completed that. The side quest I had, which was 4 Horseshoes of Speed, and I failed that. I did not read The Mask of Mirror. I had Midnight Citadel, which I picked Fatebreaker War, and I read Mimic. I failed. It was Immortal Dark, but the side quest, which was Lucky Penny, I did get. It was Lessons in Chemistry. The last one was Demolict Crypt, which I picked Only Good Indians for, and I did read that. So with that being said, I have to roll two d4s for my disadvantages. I haven't done that yet, which could take me down some points because there is, if you roll a 2, that's lose 500 XP. So without having that done, I'm at 51,150 points, experience points, which puts me at level 9. Let's go ahead and roll. We're letting the die pick what die I roll today. These will be the 2 I'm going to roll. Then this month, I am also starting the hardest reading challenge you will ever do. So I'm thinking that we'll roll for 6 books. That way I have some wiggle room to put in some books that I want for the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. This month, since it's just starting, I think most of the books I'll be able to pick will be into that. We'll be able to factor into that because it's pretty broad and there's a lot of different boards. If you don't know what the hardest reading challenge is, it's put on by HRCYED. They do it every year. It's a bingo board of different prompts and you have to read a handful of books for each prompt. I think if you do individual books for every prompt, it ends up being like 150 books, but you are allowed to double up, which makes it only 75 books within a year, which is something that I can do, so I probably will be doing that version. I last year tried participating and then I got sidetracked, but if you want a more in-depth version or video on the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do and the books that I'm picking for that, let me know and I can do that, or you can go to HRCYED, they have it, and there's a bunch of other creators who are starting it. So with that being said, let's roll my 2 disadvantages and then we'll roll 6 die to figure out what prompts I need to do. Okay, my first disadvantage is going to be 6. Wait, I'm supposed to be rolling a d4, not a d6. 1 second. I'm back with my d4. First disadvantage is going to be 3. The next disadvantage is going to be 4. Okay, so let's start with our disadvantages. We had 3, which is add 50 pages to a page number monster prompt. Use this disadvantage when you receive a relevant prompt. That in mind as we go. And then we also rolled a 4, which is Dungeon Master. Have a friend pick a book for your TBR. You can try to match it to a prompt pulled for this month, but if it doesn't fit, it will need to be an additional book for your TBR. Cannot be counted for inspiration. If you can match it to a monster dungeon prompt or use it for an armor rating book, you can still earn points from this. If not, extra book for 0 points. I'm gonna pick The Mask of Mirrors because this was a book that I was supposed to read for my Dungeon Master prompt last month, so I'm gonna re-pull it for this month. So that way it's a little simpler for me, but that'll be the first book of potentially the TBR. So let's get into our first roll. First prompt number is going to be 16. First roll is a 16. Oh hey, I've done this one before. There's so many numbers I've had duplicates. Triad. Travelers entering a forest might catch a glimpse of a feminine form floating through the trees. Warm laughter hangs in the air, drawing those who hear it deeper into the emerald shadows. A dryad can emerge from the tree, form and travel lands around it, but the tree remains her home and roots her to the world. They can speak with plants and animals, teleport from one tree to another, luring interlopers away from their grove. You can choose to fight or befriend the creature. Please choose only one of the following prompts. Challenge rating 1, 200 XP. Befriend prompt. Forest Guardian prompt requires a read a book with a protagonist that protects something natural or sacred. Fight prompt. Circle of Life prompt requires reading a book dealing with birth, death, or rebirth. Think growth, reincarnation, or legacy. I'm going to try to befriend it. This prompt I did before I did Fight, because that was the only book I had. I'm going to try to see if there's a protagonist, if I've recently got a book where the protagonist protects something, natural or sacred. Okay, this one we're going to pick the Fight prompt again. I'm picking a Master of Jinn. And the reason I'm doing this is because the main character, Fatma, she has a legacy. She is the youngest woman working for the Ministry of Alchemy, Enchantments, and Supernatural Entities. So she has a legacy already, and so I feel like that will fit into this book really well, like into this prompt really well. And I've already kind of started it. I started it like a month and a half ago or a little bit ago, and I put it down because I just was not in the mood for it. So I'm gonna repick this one up. I like P. Djeli Clark. I've read some other books by them. Haunting of Tramcar 051 or something like that. Which is kind of a story in relation to this a little bit. It's a short story, but Ring Shout I've also read, so I'm excited to repick this one up. So this will be the first book on the TBR. Second prompt. It's gonna be 19 plus 1, which will be 20. 20 is Night Hag. Sly and subversive, night hags want to see the virtuous turn to villainy. Love turn to obsession, kindness turn to hatred, devotion turn to disregard, and generosity to selfishness. Night hags take perverse joy in corrupting mortals. They were once creatures of the Feywild, but their wickedness saw them to exile to Hades long ago, where they've degenerated into fiends. Roll to see if you encounter a single night hag or a coven of them. Rolling a 10 or below, you've encountered one night hag. Anything 11 or above, you are facing a night coven. I'm not gonna change the camera. That's a coven. Rating 7, 2,900 XP. Don't have any armor right now because I've not done any armor things. No! So the prompt we could have had for a one night hag, which is Haunted Minds prompt, requires you to read a psychological thriller or horror with an unreliable narration or inner demons. But the coven prompt, which is what we rolled, in addition to reading the above prompt, read a 500-page book or longer, cannot count one book for both prompts. They must be separate books. Oh god. Okay, so we have to do 2 prompts. I need psychological thriller or horror. Okay. I need a 500-page book or longer. Okay. I'm trying to decide, okay? So first off, I have my horror book. I don't have a lot of horror books on my shelf, so this is gonna have to work. It's Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. I just read, it's not on the shelf, Only Good Indians. So I'm excited to pick up and get back into another work by Stephen Graham Jones. This is gonna count as my first book for this prompt. The second book, I'm kind of torn because part of me wants to do The Mask of Mirrors, and I think technically I could. However, because this book is like 600 pages. However, I'm not gonna do that because I feel like it'll be a little bit cheating. I know we can bring our disadvantaged books into it, but since this is supposed to be a harder prompt, I wanna keep them separate. So I'm gonna be picking our book club book for the month. And our book club pick is Dune. This book is 850 pages. So this is gonna be my second pick for the coven prompt. So it's gonna be Buffalo Hunter, and then Dune, which also happens to be the book club book of the month. Our third prompt. Oh, math. 2 plus 6 is 8, plus 16 is 34. Editing Esty here. Yeah, my math was just plain wrong. It's supposed to be 24, so please just ignore it. Okay, the next prompt is 34. Wendigo. Born from the human desperation, a soul that turned into cannibalism in the cold. It is cursed to hunger forever, no matter how much it consumes. When a Wendigo is killed, the closest humanoid within 15 feet of it must perform a wisdom saving throw of 14 or become cursed with a Wendigo spirit and can only be removed by a remove curse spell. Challenge rating 6, 2,300. Ooh, plus a side quest option, roll. Prompt. To perform a successful wisdom saving throw, read a book featuring survival, desperation, or moral decay. A book that has a tragic or unsettling ending can also feed stream. I think I'm gonna pick this one. I'm gonna pick The Mask of Mirrors for Wendigo because this features survival, desperation, and moral decay as we follow Ren, who is a con artist, trying to con her sister into like a better society. To hear her sister's future. So I think this fits perfectly for the first book. I also am gonna roll for the side quest. I rolled 17. 17 is Righteous Trappings. Chainmail so bright silver it almost glows. Fiends, undead, and aberrations have disadvantage on attacks of the wearer of this armor. Bonus if you're a cleric, ability used for any monster prompt wants to skip it and claim XP. Read a book with silver foiling, has metal on the cover or features and oh, I know what I'm doing for this. Yeah. This one I'm picking The Knight and the Moth. There's a knight on the cover and it's metal. The foiling is light blue, not silver, but I'm excited to have this one and hopefully get this advantage. I need to double check advantages I got and did not get in the last one, so I did lose horseshoe speed. I got Eyes Eagles, which I think helps with certain prompts when you roll them. Also got Lucky Penny. Allows one re-rolled for a side prompt. You will need to cross out the prompt you rolled for and decided not to pick that. So I get a fourth prompt. 8 plus 11, which would be 19, plus 13 is 32. 32? I think 32. Ooh, Vrykalakas? Neither ghost nor vampire, the Viraclocus is a revenant born from unnatural death. Unlike elegant vampires, the Viraclocus is bloated and grotesque. Its veins blackened with decay, its breath sour with the memory of the feast. It does not drink blood alone, it devours life, consuming vitality through touch, leaving its victims pale and hollow-eyed in death. Their bodies swell like its own, cursed to rise again beneath its command. Challenge rating 9, 5,000 XP. Prompt. These creatures are harmed by running water or sunlight. Read a book with water on the cover, the sun, or bright colors, or a character with sunny disposition. I am going to be picking the Courting of Bristol Keats. There's water on the cover, there's a lake. So, 4? Are you kidding me? Okay. 4 is Inkeg. An Inkeg resembles an enormous many-legged insect with long antennae twitching in response to any movement around it. Its legs end in sharp hooks adapted for burrowing and grasping its prey. Its powerful mandibles can snap a small tree in half. Inkeg burrows through the earth, leaving narrow, partially collapsed tunnels in its wake. It receives most of its nutrients via soil, but also substitutes with fresh meat. Pastures teeming with livestock and forests are its favorites, prizes to burrow under with and find snacks. Challenge on the surface. A book with hidden depth, secret identities, or twisty reveals. I picked on Mortal Dark for this. I'm going to choose to include this book for this TBR for this month, even though I'm currently reading it. Why not? It's a level 2 challenge, so I'm not that concerned about it. This book has hidden depths. I don't know if it has secret identities, but it will definitely continue to have twisty reveals because there's reveals already happening. So we're just going to put this onto the TBR. And we're going to finish it. And hopefully this will be an easy one since it is only level 2. And the last and final prompt, 4. So we're going to re-roll 4 because I don't think I want 2 with the same prompt. And that's, 6. You can see the little dash under 6. And the final one, which this is crazy, we've had only monsters, is 6. Oh, which I think we've already done at 6 before. It's Banshee. When night falls, unlucky travelers hear the faint cries of the forlorn dead. The willful spirit is a banshee, a spiteful creature formed from the spirit of a female elf. Banshee's faces are wreathed in wild tangles of hair, its body clad in wispy rags that flutter and stream all around it. A banshee becomes forever bound to the place of its demise, unable to venture more than 5 miles from there. These creatures covet beautiful objects, fine jewelry, paintings, statues, and other objects of art. They abhor any mirrored surfaces, for it can't bear the horror of its own existence. Challenge level 4, 1,100 XP, and a side quest option. Read a book that has depth, themed gothic book, or a book that has ghost-like beings. I think I know what to do. And I'm gonna roll for my side quest really fast. Roll blue. A bottle of boundless coffee. The bottle of boundless coffee never runs dry, and neither does your TBR. Prompt. Choose a cozy, comforting, or richly immersive book for your TBR. Something you'd want to sip alongside a boundless coffee. I don't get anything for this. Okay. Okay, we're going to start with quest prompt, which is the bottle of boundless coffee. Like, this necessarily wouldn't be a cozy, but I do feel like it's the coziest kind of book I own. And it's Little Women. I'm going to count this because I would read this while sipping like tea or something. Bring my blankie in and read a classic, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna count this. I currently am on page 128. The one I started that did not finish. So we're gonna throw this on my TBR for the boundless coffee. For prompt of the Inkeg, which is, wait, what? No, I'm at 6. What am I doing? For the anti-prompt, the main one, I'm picking The Second Death of Eddie and Violet Bond because they are mediums and they can see in the veil between life and death. So that, to me, gives ghost-like beings, gothic ghost-like beings. So that's what I'm gonna pick for Banshee. So that, per usual, ended up being more books than I was expecting it to be, but I'm not too mad about it because 2 of the books, 1 book I'm going to finish, 1 book I'm halfway through, and 1 book I have to read for book club anyway, so it would have been a side read. Actually, 3 books I'm in part of the way through. There's 9? Damn, wait, what? So yeah, these are the 9 books that are currently sitting on my TBR for this month. I'm scared for Dune. I'm not going to lie to you, it's a very big, chunky book. On top of having to read 8 other books this month. I think we're going to start by tackling Immortal Dark and then Little Women and then go from there. Probably Master of Jinn next. We get through the books that I've started so that way I can start some of my other ones and we'll just kind of see how it goes. I'm scared. But I do think most of these I can also count on the hardest reading challenge I'll ever do, which once again I can go more in depth if you want me to. Just let me know. But I will see you in the next video. Okay? Bye!